Okay, so let's look at 2 or 3, my bad. Okay, so we're distributing 5. So 5 times negative 7 negative 35, and we have a K. 5 times negative 7 is still negative 35.
So you did 5 times 7.
5 times negative 7, because there's a negative.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
And then 5 times negative 7. So, and this is where I think some students kind of, you always use the sign in front of the number. So if you have a number 5, use the sign in front of it. Okay? So on this, we look at 5, it's negative 8 times 5K, negative 40K. Negative 8 times negative 3. See the 3, the sign? Yeah, so negative, negative plus positive, and then we're going to have a 24. Okay, so this time around we're going from here with the parentheses to here. Next week or later this week we're going from here with no parentheses to parentheses. Okay, it makes a circle. It works the same if you say 4 plus 4 minus 4 plus 4 minus 4. You're going to keep going in a loop.
why is that a plus 3 for?
What's a negative times a negative?
Positive.
Yeah. Okay, look at 7. Now, 7, the next page we start to distribute some variables once. Okay, so negative 9 times 7,
63.
negative 63, and I have 1 n. Negative 9 times negative 6 plus 54. How many n's are between the two of those? 2, so it's going to be n squared.
Wait, 63.
Okay, look at 9. Negative 7 times 3,
Negative 20.
and then how many m's?
2.
2. Okay. So it's going to be m squared. And we already learned when you multiply with variables, you add the exponents. And so that's essentially what we're doing. Okay, it's what we were doing before.
Why are we doing that other 3?
Okay, what about this? Negative 7 times negative 3,
Positive 20.
positive 21. How many m's?
Wait, no,
1.
I feel like it's similar to what we did with yeah.
Distributing is kind of, you use it all the time. That like
We use distributing a lot.
Wait.
we do. We just did yesterday when we had to distribute that negative through. Like we do it all the time. It's so simple, but some people need a refreshing when we talk about variables.
Miss Henning,
Yes, dear.
is putting it into the factor form, is that gonna have a long process?
I don't know. I don't think it is, but it depends who teaches it. I teach you my way. If you don't like my way, there's 100 other ways to factor.
Period.
Negative 7 times 9,
63.
negative 63. How many x's?
2 squared, I squared.
Okay, negative 7 times 7,
Negative 49.
negative 49. How many x's?
1.
Perfect. Okay, and so now the rest of all of these are going to be distribute and then combine. Okay, so it is a little bit of simplifying. So always start by distributing first. It doesn't matter what problem because our order of operations says, please excuse my dear Sally, right? You do the parentheses first, no matter what. So we're going to say 8 times 5,
45.
40. 8 times what? What number?
1.
Negative 1. Okay, there's really a 1 there. It's going to be negative 8. How many p's?
1.
And then we still have this 10p here, so we need to say plus 10p.
That's it.
What can you combine?
The P's. Negative
8p,
8p,
10p.
Yep, so what am I going to get for that?
18p.
2p.
Plus 2p.
Dang, I didn't know we were going to do that.
Okay, but it's not p squared. That's where like some people get mixed up. If you multiply, you add the exponent, but when we add, we just put them together. Okay?
I thought we added those.
Wait, did we add it?
Huh?
Did we add it?
We You tell me, what is 8p plus 10p?
How would I know when to add them?
You're always adding.
Negative 8p plus 2p.
Oh,
Or 10p.
I didn't see the negative 8. I thought it was red.
Oh.
My bad.
Okay, look at 15. We always distribute first. Okay, so we're gonna need to do this part first. Okay, so we're gonna drop down this negative 10r because we're not doing anything with it yet. 8 times negative 8.
Negative 64. Yeah, negative 64.
How many r's?
1.
8 times negative 3.
Negative 24.
How many r's?
0.
None. Okay, what can we combine?
The R's.
The r's. So negative 10r and a 64r, negative 64r is gonna give me what?
Negative 74.
Negative 74r minus 24. Okay, look at 17. We distribute first, no matter what. Negative 5 times 6.
Negative 30.
Negative 30, how many n's? 1. Negative 5 times negative 2.
Positive
10.
Positive 10. And we're going to drop this plus 9n down. What can we combine?
the 30. Negative.
The 30, the negative 30 and the 9 to give me what?
21.
Negative 21.
Negative 21n plus 10.
We
I have a
don't need
question.
a square. You know, because it's 2 and
So that's where like kids get all tripped up. So if you're distributing and you're doing like that, when we multiply, and it goes back to this multiplication rule of exponents, when you multiply exponents or you have a dot, you have 2 to the 1 times 2 to the 4. It's really 2 to the 1 plus 4. We add the exponents together. So 2 to the 5. But here we're adding the exponents, which means you don't touch them, you just touch the front number. Okay, but if you're distributing, and that's why I always ask, well, how many n's? If you had one here, then it would be n squared. But this, we're just adding them together. So it's very tricky.
I got a question.
Yes?
How come you never see an exponent that's capitalized?
There's not. I would love to answer you that, but it's a really long, drawn out. My upper level kids, today we were watching the story of math. And so I always ask the $1 million question, was math discovered or invented? Think like way back, thousands and thousands of years ago, when we just had cavemen. We have all these weird math symbols like pi, e, logs, square roots. Okay, was math discovered or was that invented?
Invented.
Think so? It's like, so you guys are like, oh my gosh, such a nerd, but it's one of those, and the only thing I can equate it to is like people talk about God, okay? And I'm not saying here or there, but people say like, some people believe in God and some people don't. It's like a lifelong, one of the things that maybe is true, maybe it's not, okay? Whatever your beliefs are, I really don't care. But, and so math is the same way. People go back and forth and they argue like, was math discovered or invented? And so it goes through because eventually, like my Algebra 2 kids, we're getting ready to start imaginary numbers. And people are always like, if they're imaginary, I don't understand. But math goes way, really, really deep. And so I don't really have an answer, but it's a long, long, drawn out answer. All right, 19. Okay, we're gonna distribute. What are we distributing?
There's a 1 right there.
There's a 1 right here, okay? So we're distributing this -1 to each piece. So this 6b we can drop down, negative 6b. What is -1 times -6?
Positive 6.
Positive 6. And then -1 times 10.
Negative 10b.
Negative 10b. And what can we combine?
The b's.
The b's to give me
Negative 16b.
negative 16b
Plus 6.
plus 6. Okay, look at 21. We're going to distribute. Negative 2 times negative 3,
Negative 6, positive 6,
positive 6b. Negative 2 times negative 10.
positive 20,
How many b's?
2.
2. B squared. Minus 7b squared. So what can we put together?
V2.
The V2s.
Wait, what?
Okay? So these ones can go together. So 20b minus 7b,
Is
13.
13.
so plus 13b squared.
We're still going.
Wow. So that doesn't change the square?
This is squared.
I know, but it doesn't, like, even though that you have two of them, it doesn't change the fact that it's squared.
It's still squared. If you have $200 bills, are they still $100 bills? Yeah, but they're still, you still have $200, right? But there's no such thing as a $200 bill. Well, there might be. I never seen one though. I don't think there is.
There's counterfeit probably.
I don't know. There could be. I don't know.
I think probably should.
Okay, 8 times 4 is gonna be 32x plus what?
64.
64 x squared.
Perfect. Plus 2x. What can we combine?
64 and 32.
32.
32 x. I can't speak.
I know. I knew what you meant, but 34x and 64x squared. Okay, these two can go together to give me that 34. And I feel like that's it. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, the rest is for you.